Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the show. John Henry Soto here with you, as always, giving you the latest in entertainment, music, film, art, and some wellness on Sunday nights with George Batista. It is 7 a.m. here in Nashville, Tennessee, June 16th, 2026. Wow. 6162026. Somebody's making a big deal about that, I'm sure, because it is 6/16/26 means nothing because the planet doesn't even know that. We created that on our own, folks. But anyway, hope you're all doing well out there. We're going to be talking today. I'm going to jump right in. Got a lot to cover. Went long yesterday, so want to kind of keep these a little bit short and quick, and you can just kind of jump in if you're an artist and you're interested in some information that I've gathered through my years of failures and successes. I would encourage you to take a look at some of these episodes more than once if you need to, just to kind of get some notes. And we're going to be talking about showcases today. Showcases in 2026. Is that even a thing anymore? What's the point to it? And then at the end, I'm going to give you 10 things you need for a successful showcase. And then, funny, a lot of people don't even call them showcases anymore, right? They're presentations. They're just concerts, they're industry events. They have all these different titles. I'm calling them showcases because that's what they were back in the days when, because I'm old school, and that's what it is. You're showcasing something. You're presenting. You can call it a presentation, a musical presentation journey. You call it whatever you want, but it is a presentation of music. We're showcasing it to certain individuals that are interested in seeing it, and or interested in finding some talent, and that's what a showcase is. Okay, so we start off there. Now, for independent artists, showcases can be one of the most valuable tools for career development. Unlike a typical performance, a showcase is designed to put an artist in front of new audiences, industry professionals, media representatives, venue owners, promoters, and potential collaborators. So there's a lot of different things that you can use a showcase for. People think that it's just a showcase just to network, or not to network, to industry professionals, right? Record labels and so forth. Yes, that is one of the things. But sometimes those, and it's happened in the past, many stories you can research, you have a room full of industry folks, and they don't like the talent. They don't see it. They don't value it as much as enough to actually have a conversation with them, and they leave. But there are other people there. You gather some networking and opportunities. You get to meet some people. You expand your sphere of people that fan base can go up as well. So there's a lot of other things that can happen, and not only industry professionals, although that is a big portion of the reasons why you put these together, right? And sometimes these industry professionals miss the ball, right? How many times has that happened in the past, right? Where an artist will perform and they'd be huge in the room, but the industry folks just we don't get it, and then they blow up, right? It happened a few times. I know it happened in can't think of the band now. Anyway, it's happened. If you want to research that in the past, and that just came to me, but I know it's a thing that. So there's other things. You want to actually get those industry folks in there. You want to invite them. You want to make them feel comfortable. Introduce yourself and thank them for coming because they're super busy, and it's really important, to be grateful for them showing up there, because they don't gotta show up nowhere. They work already in the industry. They got their gigs, and if they like you and they maybe see that you might have something valuable to show them, they're going to take the time and they're going to come, and you should be grateful for that. Okay, that's definitely an important thing. So it provides an opportunity to demonstrate not only musical talent but also professionalism, stage presence, and the ability to connect with an audience. A successful showcase can create opportunities that extend far beyond the performance itself. So, a showcase, you have to understand that that presentation is got to be full of everything that you're planning. All it has to be worked out. You have to be calculating on it. You have to make sure that you have a strategic plan of how you're going to do the show. You got to keep the show short. Don't make the show. I'm going to have some points at the end, but you have a 1 hour, maybe a 1 hour and 10 if you have, you know, clapping in the middle and somebody yells out something and the person comments, so maybe you can go, but always get like an hour show in the can. Get the musicians around you to understand what the show is, make them understand what the presentation is going to be, why you're there, who's in the audience, put the pressure there. Yes, they're industry professionals in the audience. You need to perform. Another pet peeve of mine is that if you're doing a showcase for industry professionals, you should not have your iPhone on a stand and scrolling to go to the lyrics or scroll, to or doing anything on the phone. It's a really bad. I've seen artists turn around their back to the audience and go on their phones and it just seems like, okay, now what are you on, you're on Instagram now? What are you doing? I don't get it. um just doesn't look good. It does not look good. That's just a pet peeve that I'm just throwing in here for a second. So one of the greatest benefits of participating in a showcase is exposure. Artists often spend countless hours writing songs, rehearsing, recording, and creating content. But a showcase shows them to present all that work in a live setting. Industry professionals can see firsthand how an artist performs under pressure, engages with the crowd, and represents her brand or their brand. I say her because I have an artist and she's female. Represent their brand. At the same time, artists gain valuable experience that help them refine their performance skills and become more confident on stage. So notice in that there's two things. You have to show that you can perform under pressure and that you have confidence on stage. Two things that go together, right? Because when you're nervous, you start shaking, your voice starts going, your mouth starts getting really dry. You know, you let the artist know that this is a possibility. Your mouth may get very dry. Make sure you have water on the stage, always anyway, but just make sure you're very, very aware that you may go through a bottle. So have a couple of bottles on the stage just in case you may need to. You're also burning a lot of energy. Make sure you eat beforehand. Eat a nice meal, not too close to the show where if you're jumping around or moving around, you can feel a little bit woozy, right? But make sure you eat enough protein so when you get on stage, you have the energy, the mental capacity, you're hydrated. Make sure you're well rested. These are all things I'm going to talk about in a little bit, but just want to throw that in there now because all that stuff contributes to being nervous. If you suddenly don't feel good or you suddenly feel hungry or you have to use a bathroom or you're parched and you just don't, you have one bottle, one of those little tiny bottle on the stage, that could all trigger little things that are going to make you nervous. You're going to think about, oh, is that enough water? Should I go to the bathroom now? Oh God, I think I ate too much or I ate too little or I haven't eaten. All those things will trigger emotional things and you get so freaking nervous, you ain't going to perform. That's a really, really important thing. Showcases also serve as a powerful networking opportunity. Many creators have advanced because of a single introduction made at an event. I talked about this yesterday on a little thing I did on Instagram, right? I went on a rant about something about, you can go check that out, about Madonna. Not a bad rant because I love Madonna, but about current Madonna situation. Anyway, but in conjunction to that, I was talking about sometimes you go to a networking event or you'll look at a net, I've seen people do this. They'll look at a networking, oh yeah, who's going to be there? Oh, I don't know any of these network. Oh, I don't know these industry professionals. I'm not going to go there. Okay, let me explain something about networking. Yes, industry professionals are one. You want to definitely meet them. They can change your life pretty quickly if they have the right connections themselves, right? Um, but an industry professional, you have to make sure that they're really industry professionals. And I'm going to talk about that too. But um, somebody who back in the day worked at Blockbuster is not in the film industry, right? They're not industry professionals. So you got to make sure of that. But the opportunities for networking sometimes can really sneak up on you when you go into one of these events. It may not be the presenters up there that are talking or the panel of the great industry professionals that change your life. Maybe the person sitting right next to you that you start up a conversation and you both have same interest and you both decide to start writing some songs and you write some hit songs because you met at this networking event. There's a lot of other opportunities there. So you want to make sure when you go to these, regardless of whether they are well attended or there's a lot of good people there, you want to go and meet somebody. Always go and meet somebody. That's a big key thing. Um, Many careers, I already read that. Artists can meet fellow musicians, songwriters, producers, managers, filmmakers, promoters, and business owners who may become future collaborators or supporters. These relationships can often lead to future bookings, recording opportunities, interviews, partnerships, and creative projects. In many cases, the connections made at the showcase are just as valuable as the performance itself. Yes. Remember, it's an evening of your content, of your music, of your creativity. It's an evening of that. So it's not just the performance on stage, it's the schmoozing before the show, schmoozing after the show, meeting people, networking, getting contact information, connecting through socials. All that is part of the networking experience. It's much bigger than it used to be, right? It used to be the get industry professionals, you perform, you go backstage, and maybe if one of them like you, they'll go back and see you, or maybe you can go to them and just introduce yourself. That's what it was. Today, because we control so much as managers and as talent agents and venue mark people who market venues, people who work for a venue. Like I'd love to work for a venue and help them put together like a real evening events that are well marketed, that are social media driven, that have a lot of content out there, that are live streamed. The first portion of first song should be live streamed and get people really interested. And then have a private group where people can actually live stream. You can live stream the whole event. I think all that would be really great for the venue, but they have a lot to do now, right? So everyone now has more to do. There's more opportunities, meaning there's more people, right? It's a bigger community now, which is great. You want to be able to have that. You want to be able to have people to connect with and collaborate with. But you don't want to use it solely for that. You want to be there to be the one that people are going to appreciate and want to be in their space so you can help them create content too. You want to be their solution. You don't want just people like, give me, follow me, love me, love me. No, what can I give? What can I leave here? What can I bring to the stage that people are going to take with them and be inspired and feel good about it? That's the key thing. Now, behind every successful showcase is careful planning and attention to detail. Yes, the best showcases create an environment where artists can shine and audiences can have a memorable experience. When organized properly, they become more than just performances. They become platforms for growth, community building, and opportunity creation. A great showcase doesn't just help an artist gain visibility, it helps them build momentum that can carry their careers to the next level. So a showcase is a pretty big deal. Whatever you're going to call it today, you can call it a networking event, you can call it an industry event, call it a whatever new term that Gen Zs have, or millennials, or whoever is doing them. And it's an important thing to be able to organize. And you start them. You don't say, "Hey, let's have a showcase next week." No, 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 no. You have to say, "Okay, we're gonna have a showcase. We're gonna schedule it 6 weeks in advance." That's about the amount of time you need to get a successful event launched and promoted and talked about. And then you have to call the industry artist 6 weeks in advance. So it's like a month and a half that you have to have. So you want to make sure that at the beginning of the year, okay, we're gonna have a showcase in March, right? March, April, May, June. Let's have another one in July. July, August, September, October. Let's have another one in October. And now you have your things. You have one for July, you have one for March, and you have one for October, right? So you have the whole year covered now. You got three showcases that you're putting together. You get the venues. Matter of fact, you can have the same venue if you really do a good job. Venues love lots of people coming into their facility and buying drinks and food and all that stuff. They love it. So if you go to them with like, this is a plan, I got three coming up this year. I'd love to use one venue if possible. Would it be okay if we did one? And then at the end of that one, you decide if you want to bring us back for number two and number three. And if you really bust it out of number one, they're gonna do it. I did the You Are the Magic concert series at a venue. That night, the owner told me, "When can you do another one?" That night, so it was because it was so successful for them financially. All right, so let's go over a couple things here. 10 things you need for a successful showcase. All right, artists out there, musicians, listen up here. So number one is talented and prepared artists. I put this number one because it's a dumb thing to miss, but believe it or not, sometimes the artist is not prepared, or maybe the manager thinks that the artist is way more talented than they really are, and they're just putting them out there. You have to have talented and prepared artists. Preparation means that they have to know every single song. They have to not be running off of iPads and cell phones to go through lyrics. They need to know the lyrics. They need to know the show. The show has to be rehearsed. It's a Broadway show, let's pretend, right? It has to be well rehearsed. Um, every performance should be rehearsed, professional, and ready to deliver their best performance. Okay. So these things are really, it seems like a no brainer and a duh moment, but trust me, it's important. And people miss the boat on it. They kind of like tune out. They think that, okay, well, I know all the songs. I'm just going to go there and go with an iPad. What you can have is a sheet of paper that has the set list. The band should have it too, so they know what's the next song coming up. If you need that. Now, if you're well rehearsed, you don't need that, but that's just the way it goes, right? A great venue, okay? A location should fit the size and style of the event while providing a comfortable experience for both the artists and the attendees. So you want to have a space that's really comfortable for everyone involved, and you have to look for it. So, for instance, let's say you get lucky and you have someone who can rent you this huge, giant facility that holds, 500 people. Now, your showcase may not bring in 500 people, right? It may, depending on what level your artist is in, or depending on what level your networking is. But if you have a huge, giant venue, 500 is not a huge venue, but 500 for an artist that's just starting out who wants to do a showcase, you may only have 100 people in there. It's going to look like an empty place. You want to have a place that really fits what you can get. So if you get a small place that fits maybe 100 people and you pack it out with 100 people, you have people spilling out into the, man, that's exciting. You're gonna get all that footage. You're gonna have a loud room. You're gonna have people, a lot of energy in that room. A lot of money is gonna be spent in that room as well. which is also a good thing for the venue. So you want to have a good, great venue that fits what you're doing. Number three, quality sound and lighting. You got to check this out beforehand. So you got to go to the event when an event is happening. Go there beforehand. Look at shows. I have at least 10 venues that I've been to that I know have really great sound, great lighting, and would be a great place to have a showcase, right? So you have to go beforehand. Don't go there thinking that they have everything under control. Go there, see a show, listen to it. Can you hear everything on stage? Is there things too loud? Are there places in where you walk around? I walk around. I'm a weirdo when I'm at these places. People think I don't know. I don't know what they think. This little guy just walking around. But anyway, I go around and I walk the venue so I can see. Okay, it sounds good here. It sounds good here. It sounds good here. So if I'm bringing in somebody that's in an industry professional, I want to make sure he or she sits in the best place, the best possible place to get the full effect. So I'm walking around the room. I'm reading the room, and then I'm making notes. I got my little book here, right? I'm making my notes, and I say, okay, left side, stage left, stage right, best sound, center, good sound, too close, bad sound, too loud. Speakers may be too high. You're missing some of it because the speakers are going out there, and you're underneath these house speakers. So you want to make sure you're in the right location and that the sound and the lighting is good. You want to see also the lighting. Lighting is important. Lighting creates mood. Lighting creates an environment where something special is happening. That's why when you go to a big concert, the lights are all on, and then suddenly all the lights come off. Right? They come off because there's an excitement, and then the lights that come on are special lights. You want to be able to try to create that venue. Now, a lot of venues are not going to accommodate that. If you have a good relationship with the venue, or you establish a good relationship with the venue, they'll work your lights, and you say, okay, during this song, here's the set list. Yeah, we want to give them a set list and the song, a lighting list too. Okay, during this song, this is a ballad. Bring the lights down, just have a blue light, a little bit in the background, and just that's it. This is a big light. You want to have some flashing light. This is a very high energy light, and then let them kind of put together and choreograph something that would be fitting for it. Number four, a strong promotion and marketing. You want to make sure that you're on social media, email campaigns, flyers, partnerships, and personal invitations to build audiences. If you have people that you want them to go, don't send them an email. Don't send them a text. If you have their phone number, give them a call. Give them a call. The industry professionals are valuable to know. And if you get a good relationship with them, they will help you. If they see that you have talent, that you're bringing talent to the table, because you're making their job easier. You're helping them, right? You're just providing a service that they desperately need because they're out there looking for stuff. So give them a call. It may only be like 4 or 5 people that you're calling, right? It's not a lot of things. You sit there, hey, how you doing? Hope everything's well. Yeah, I'm checking in. I also wanted to invite you to an event happening. I got my artist performing. It's gonna be like an hour show. I'm gonna feed you. You tell the venue that we're gonna these are the people that are getting free food or a couple of free drinks. Drinks are expensive, so you gotta be careful with that, and how many people you invite. So make sure you keep it to about 5 industry professionals, if that's what you can afford, and then take care of them, make them feel good. This is the next one is actually industry guests, right? So invite venue owners, promoters, media professionals, producers, talent buyers, and community leaders. These are all considered industry people. So remember, you can get like 30 people in there that are industry professionals. You know what I mean? So you can't sometimes feed them all and give them all the stuff, but you can call them and you can say, hey, a community leader is very, very powerful. If they have a group that they belong to, you want to call them up and say, hey, I got this great event here. I got this great artist. Make sure the artist fits what they would be interested in, obviously, but that's a really important thing. So industry guests, communicating to them, Very important. Number 6, an organized schedule. Make sure that the schedule is, what time you're going on, when load-in is for the band, when a sound check is. Make sure that you have a tech guy there. Make sure you have a lighting guy there. Sometimes it's the same person. Make sure that they know what's happening. Make sure that you call your artist the night before. You call the whole band the night before. You have a meeting. You have a Zoom the night before. You battle plan the final. This is our final conversation. When we get there, it's going to be chaos. We're all going to be busy. I want to make sure everybody's on the same page. And that's the conversation you're going to have the night before with the whole band, either individually or you do a quick Zoom with everybody and you get them on there and you're like, okay, guys, this is it. This is tomorrow. Make it an event and be organized. Because when you're organized, those that are around you are going to respect that. They're going to respect the fact that you are organized. They say, okay, well, we better pick this up. We better actually get in gear because there's a lot of organization going on here, right? And it just tends to kind of, you know, uh, pass along to everyone to be organized, especially for a big venue for an industry event. I've done these, and I'm barely enjoying the show, right? Because I'm looking around, making sure everybody's is getting what they need. If I see somebody not getting something, I'll make sure I get a server. Hey, can you go take care of that person? They look like they want to ask a question. Make sure everybody's seated in a comfortable spot. All these things I'm kind of trying to manage and organize while the thing is going on. I made the mistake of one of the shows that I did was performing with the band, and I'm on stage performing, and I'm kind of looking. It was a nightmare. It still went really great, but man, I won't be doing that again. Number 7, a professional host or MC. So this is something that you definitely need for a musical one. If you're doing like I talked about yesterday, which was a writer's round, you can actually, it's not huge, it's not as important as for something like this. You definitely want to have a good MC. You want to have them come up. You want to have them warm the crowd up for like 5 minutes and get everybody in gear. All right, you guys ready? Everybody ready? All right, let me hear you. All right, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome. Ba-da-da-da-da-da-da. Make sure that they get a host that's very, very energetic and can really deliver and has done it, is experienced. Don't just get somebody who's a friend of yours who's kind of funny and can talk. Because when you get up on stage, it changes everything. Trust me on that, man. God, please trust me. Get a professional. Even if you've got to pay him for the night, a professional host, and then he'll come up in the middle of the set and do do a little talking and interview the artist for a second. The artist can introduce the band real quick and then say, all right, well, we're gonna hear some more songs. You guys ready for the next set? All right, let's go, ladies and gentlemen. Please welcome da 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 da. And then they go, I'll say, really good presentation there. So number 8, networking opportunities. Provide time before and after the showcase for artists, guests, and attendees to connect. So, if the doors open at 6, you want to get there me personally, I would be there by 3 o'clock in the afternoon with the whole band, getting them up on stage, making sure everything is working, connecting, do a sound check around 4:30. Then everybody breaks off, goes eat, get some rest, or get their mind set up. And then doors open at 6, get everybody in there, talking, whatever, or maybe even 6:30 doors open. And then the show should be at 7 or 8 o'clock, whatever the time that you pick. I think a good time for a show to start is 8 o'clock. It goes an hour, 9 o'clock it's done. So you open the doors at 6:30, at 7. Have some time for people to get their drinks, their food, get all that stuff going. Network, meet people, introduce people, walk around, start meeting people. Very important. Number 9, another one that's incredibly important, photos and video coverage. You have to capture high quality content that artists and organizers can use for future promotion. You want to make sure you have a photographer on hand. Do some of your own footage. With cell phones now, you can get really good stuff. Get video content. Try to record the whole show if possible. Get cameras up there. This is why the preparation and the organizing is so important. You want to get all these things in place. This is a night that you have to capture because this content is going to be utilized for the next 3 months to promote for the next one coming up. or for the next show or for the next whatever coming up. You want to get that content. So put that into play. Number 10, and the last one here, a clear purpose and vision. Something that you want to be able to talk about with your artist beforehand, with everyone involved. You want to make sure that they understand what the clear purpose of the show is, what the vision is, and they all go in with that same mindset, because it's really, really going to be important. Every showcase should have a mission, whether it's artist development, community building, talent discovery, fundraising, or creating opportunities for emerging artists. Make sure you know exactly what it is. It could be an event for a community fundraiser for something, know that that's going to be the case, right? But for showcases for the artists themselves, which is basically what I'm talking about here, you want to make sure that those opportunities are there for them, the audiences, the everything is has a clear purpose, okay, and a good clear vision of this is what we want, this is what we're going to go out and get. Let's get this done, right? All right. Final thoughts. I keep going over 30 minutes. I'm sorry, folks. Closing thoughts here. A showcase is not just a performance, it's an opportunity. When artists are given the right platform, the right audience, and the right environment, a single showcase can lead to new relationships, new opportunities, and the next chapter in their careers. Very important. You keep these 10 steps in for every single showcase, or even for your own events. Put those in with your band. You will have a successful showcase, and you will meet the right people, and your life can change overnight. All right, friends, I want to thank you so much for tuning in. I appreciate you all for being here. We'll see you tomorrow morning. And tomorrow morning's show, we're going to talk about the power of collaboration. We're going to be covering that. That's something that we talked a little bit about now, right? Collaborating when you meet them in networking events and in different showcases. So now, what does that mean, collaboration? We're going to cover that tomorrow morning, 7 a.m. Central. Hope you can join us here. My name is John Henry Soto. Thank you very much. Have a wonderful day out there. Take care of yourselves. Take care of each other. We're all we got. I love you all. See you tomorrow morning. And as always, peace.